Thank you, Sakshi, for the introduction.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Is everyone ready? I can go ahead with the presentation for today.
Yes, ma'am, you may
Yes.
proceed.
Okay. Thank you. Uh, Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome all the 101 participants today. I'd like to ask, take a poll. You have a chat box besides you. How many of you want to start something of your own? Let's take a poll, for me to understand, how many are interested in actually starting something of your own. I got one response. Second, third, fourth, fifth. Okay, that's a great number. Okay, so I'll start with today's session. That is entrepreneurship development. Yeah. Is my screen visible? The presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it is right. So let's go ahead with today's seminar. Good morning, everyone. Today's session will be about entrepreneurship development. As you got an introduction about me, my name is Nidhi, and I am the director of Nityam Events. I am from Goa, and I've worked as an engineer at R&D Research and Development of Force Motors Pune for a year. I have completed my BE Electronics and Telecommunication
Hello,
from your
Seven.
college. Hello? Yeah, I have completed my BE in Electronics Telecommunication from PVG College of Engineering, Nasik. And it is a pleasure for me to be here today to share my experience with my own college students. I have before doing engineering, I've done my polytechnic from Kekewa College of Engineering, Nasik. So let me introduce about my company first. What is Nityam Events? What we do? We like our services is in deco management, designing props, hospitality, entertainment, vendor management. These are like our core services. Then what events do we do? Like we do social and corporate events, we do weddings, we do parties, product launch, sales meet. So these are all about what Nityam Events does. Like let me show you some glimpse of our work. This is what was my first work looking like. Like after, obviously, this first work was after I started Nityam Events. And this is another picture from a wedding that we conducted at a hotel in Goa. This is a birthday party which we had done at Sula. You might be familiar with Beyond by Sula at Nasik. Then this was a corporate event at Goa. So like Nityam Events is all about event management, like whatever, like providing assistance regarding events or whatever function you want to plan. We provide everything. What the session today's session is about entrepreneurship development. So let me take you through the particulates of the session. What is entrepreneurship? Difference between a job and a startup. Myths about entrepreneurship. As we know, there are a lot of myths, so I'll be covering quite a few today. Passion, like to do something of your own, to become like start something of your own. Passion is necessary. What it takes to become an entrepreneur. The skill set that I'll be discussing. How to be an effective entrepreneur. How to use the skill set. Technology, yeah, we all know we are dependent on technology. Like we are conducting a webinar today instead of a in-person session. So use of technology, books, what your idea needs to have, like how the idea is created, generated, and how it is being implemented. That we'll be discussing. Then marketing, difficulties, managing your finance, jumpstart, and it is not a dead end. Obviously, failures are not the dead end. That will be the last step if it is. So let's start with the basic definition of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is the ability and readiness to develop, organize, and run a business enterprise along with any of its uncertainties in order to make a profit. Like we all know, in engineering we have studied, like, definition comes first, so I'll start it that way. Entrepreneurship is the ability to the ability and readiness to develop. Like, you have an idea, but you are supposed to develop it. Then after development, it needs to be organized, and then and only then after organizing and get developing your ideas, making it in place, bringing it in reality, you can run a business organization. Obviously there will be a lot of uncertainties, and in order to make profit, there are going to be a lot of roadblocks and all, but that is what you need, right? What actually it is. This is the definition point of view, but what actually it is, according to me, it is living your passion. When you think about an idea, you have to be passionate about it. You have to have the determination to make that happen, to bring something into reality, like, from your dreams into picture. It is something that is necessary, and it is a journey. It is not always like, you have done something, you had an idea, you just developed it, you organized it, you made money out of it, and that's the end. It's not like that. After one idea comes the second one. After the second one, there will be a third one. So it is obviously a journey. Let me put some light into this. What is 9 to 5 job, and how it is different from what running your own organization is like. A 9 to 5 job, working for someone else's dream or dream project or idea. Like we all know, when we pass out from engineering, we'll be going to like we'll want to go to Infosys or some big short company and, like, get 10 lakhs per annum, or profit probably 50 lakhs per annum ka package and all. But like, the Infosys was somebody else's dream job. Then whatever company we get hired in, that is somebody else's dream, and we are working for that person. Then you'll be having fixed working hours, like 9 to 5 job, 10 to 6 job, weekends off, whatever like the company is providing. Then you'll have a fixed salary, 10 lakhs package, 50 lakhs package, whatever it is. You'll have job security. Here you will be like, if I'm a permanent worker, after completing your probation and temporary contract and all, you'll be a permanent worker. That time job security is going to be there, no doubt. But how it is different from a startup business? Let's see that. It's your dream project or idea, something you that a dream that didn't let you sleep. It did not allow you to sleep, but the dream which you saw with your eyes open, like, I want to do something, I want to do like, I want to achieve something, I want to achieve a medal or whatever it is, becoming the first business entrepreneur, like the biggest entrepreneur to earn like a max profit in a year, whatever it is. It is your dream, it is your dream project, your dream idea. You don't have working hours here, because even when you are sleeping, even when you're walking, driving, whatever you're doing, you'll be continuously thinking about your idea. I want to do XYZ thing, like, to achieve a specific goal today, I have to get so and so thing done. When you are leaving for work or your office or wherever you are working, even if like startups start from home, so when you wake up, you'll be thinking, like, to achieve this, I want to start my own organization, so today I have to get so and so thing done. It is, you don't have working hours. You earn profit. You don't get salary, you earn profit. You have you had an idea, you developed it, you sold it to people, and now you made profit. It's a journey, an adventure full of surprises. You don't, like, in the startup thing, you don't have, like, anything that is suspend, like, plain old normal thing that, like, it is every day will be a new adventure, every day will be full of surprises. You won't know what the next day is going to bring, or next hour is going to bring, or whatever next inquiry from a client is going to get you for. It is full of surprises. All that glitters is not gold. A very famous writer, William Shakespeare, had written this book, The Merchant of Venice. I had picked this quote from this book, that is The Merchant of Venice. All that glitters is not gold. Like, a lot of people who have started their own business, who are successful, they will say like it was very easy, it was my baएं हाथ का खेल stuff. Will be giving us such dialogue, but in reality, it is little different than what we have heard normally. There is a biggest myth about entrepreneurship that entrepreneurs are born and they are not built. That is what normally people say. Like Ambani वैसा ही पैदा हुआ था. That is something normally people will say, but it is not like that. He made himself Ambani. He made himself what he is today. So, like you have to like all you need is then the second one is all you need is a brilliant idea, but it is not like that. Even a normal idea which has something unique in it can make wonders happen. Guarantees you freedom. This is a very big myth that starting your own company where like you will have the freedom, you will have like चाहिए तब काम करो चाहिए तब नहीं करो, but it is not like that. You will have the freedom in the sense of like you are not going to be listening to any XYZ boss, but you won't have the freedom to take holidays anytime you want, because if you want to run an organization, you will have a team working under you, and you cannot set that sort of an example. Fast money. For any startup to become a success, to start earning, it takes time. You won't like you had an idea today, आपने कल implement किया. That doesn't say like you'll have get money the third day itself. You won't get money in your hand the third day. It will take its own time. You don't need an MBA degree. This is something like it has a confusion over here that you don't need an MBA degree to start something of your own. As you know, I have done my bachelor's degree from PVG itself. I don't have an MBA degree, but I do have someone who has an MBA degree. It is like you yourself don't need an MBA, but you have to hire someone who has an MBA, or somebody who will help you out throughout, like for the HR skills or the financial management skill or the project management, whatever it is. You might need someone who has a degree, but you don't have you. It is not necessary that you should have one. Now, the next important thing is finding your passion. Over here, let's do one task. Ask yourself these 4 questions. Like, let's take 2 minutes, sit down with a pen or paper, get it from wherever you have, and write down the answers to this question. Whoever said yes sometime back that you want to start something of your own, you want to become an entrepreneur, please sit down with a pen and a paper and write the answers to these questions. What makes you lose track of time? There might be something in this world that will make you lose track of time. So find the answers to this question. Then the next one is, what do you spend money to do? Like there is something that will make you spend money. It might be getting like if like instruments, playing instruments and all, you might have spent money to buy a guitar. Or if you like spending time on reading or something like that, you might have brought a lot of books. For me, it was like buying a lot of papers and stuff to make something creative out of it. Yeah. What area of your life do you fear judgment in? There might be something when you're passionate about doing something, fear comes hand in hand. It is like the second side of the coin. You are passionate, like there might be someone who wants to play some music. He's a musician, he knows he plays well, but still he'll fear judgment. Like, what will the other person say if I play a one string wrong or one note goes wrong? What will happen? What other people are going to say? So that is where we fear judgment in. What makes your heart race? There might be something that will make your heart race. Like you are doing a certain job, you are working on your musical instrument, you are like I used to be I used to like making something creative out of papers and stuff. So like that used to make me feel happy, that used to make my heart beat rise. So has everyone found answers to this question? I hope so. You have found, like, otherwise we can take 1 more minute and you can write the answers, or at least note down the questions and you can answer it later on. Because some like, questions will take a lot of your time. It is going to take time. You'll have to end up thinking what are the answers to these questions in your life. Yeah. I'll proceed with the presentation. Yeah. So this is something that I had done in the college when I just joined. I was in second year, 2013, Technothon. ENTC, that association of us had organized this competition. Yeah, you could see me with Bhalerao sir and Varimbe sir on the stage handling the backstage thing, as well as for the robo race. I was the one anchoring the complete program, and I've still been teased for that thing because I was motivating like all the participants, and people had picked up certain words that I used on a repeat mode on that day. So for everyone to know, I was the girls representative. I didn't know, I had just joined the college that time, and it was my first or the second week, and the asset committee, the president and all, they directly told me that I was elected as the girls representative. So this is the glimpse of our own college, PVG. We had organized this. For more pictures, you can obviously check out our Facebook page and all. College, they'll have a lot of pictures. How to turn your passions into earnings. After finding the question answer, like the first four questions answers, you will find your passion. You will find something that is your passion. You now how to convert it, like how to earn. Let's find that thing out. Become an expert in your field. Learn the ins and out of your industry. Every passion thing, whatever idea you have, whatever answers you got, it is a field, okay? And you need to know in and out, like everything. As far as like what you can learn, you will need to know everything possible in that field. Like if you want to, like for me it will doing an events management thing, you need to know about budget, how to manage finances, how to manage client. You have to have that communication skill. You are not just talking about some other girls or boys in the class or anything like that. You have to be able to talk about any topic with the client. You have to be able to handle people, because when you start something of your own, there will be a lot of people working under you. So you have to be a team person as well and a leader. So there are a lot of things, lot of stuff, technical stuffs as well. You have to learn that. For me, it was like fabrication was something that we learned in the first year of engineering in the mechanical workshop, but we hardly used it after that. So knowing how to fabricate structures and all, that was something new for me, like little different than the regular thing. So you have to know a lot of things about your field. You have to study. Then the biggest thing is like you have to study why others have failed, because that is the best way to, make your product a hit. You have to know why others have failed, and how can you rectify, find a solution to their problems, their mistakes, and do the thing differently. To be a continuous learner, yeah, like I said earlier, you have to learn daily. For me, it is like, I have read it in a book, and I actually like the concept. If you learn one new thing a day, then by the end of the year, like you'll learn 365 new things in a year. Possibly, like mostly it has to be related to your passion, so that you can start earning more. And like something supporting more, maybe a software or maybe some technological thing or whatever it is, but learn something new every day. Then the next thing is what it takes to become an entrepreneur, the skill set. The basic skill set, like everybody like in the world will tell you, is leadership is necessary, creativity is necessary, being a team player, management is necessary. Like these are the basic four skill set. But I like to share some key ingredients which are necessary along with this. That is being a student, learning daily. Like I told you, the funda right now, learning one thing a day. At the end of the year, you will know 365 new things. You should be able to take calculated risk. Yeah, this is very necessary, because taking risk is a part of starting your own business, but you have to know how much risk you can bear, how much, financial risk, or like image or whatever it is, branding, what risk is sufficient and you can easily suffice it. You have to know that. Dedication to invest your time. Yes, this is one more very important thing. When you have your startup, you have to invest your time. You cannot just say like, आज मैं 1 घंटा काम करूंगा, कल मैं 2 घंटा करूंगा, या फिर like I'll postpone today's work to tomorrow. That is not going to be. good. You have to invest your day in it. You have to invest your time. Worship time. And just investing your time is like for random thing is not important. It won't give you anything benefit. It won't be any benefit, or it won't bear any fruit. You have to worship time. You have to know how much time you should be investing in a particular thing. Like you have a task, you have to buy some vegetables from the market. For example, I will say. Then you have to know, like, you can spend only half an hour for that. You have to plan your day well. Then how to become an effective entrepreneur. Developing a routine is a must. Having a set timetable like we used to have from school and colleges time, like the lectures, the subjects were predefined, they were allotted a specific time. Same way we have to have a routine in our life. I'll be showing you a reference routine, like the one that I follow in the next slide. Like, let's go to the next one. Next point, that is balance your work time and personal time. Yeah, this had become a very big problem for me when I just started with Nityam Events, that I used to spend a lot of time working. And my parents obviously started grumbling about it, that I don't spend like time with them and all. They still do in certain like incidences, but it has reduced. So you have to be able to maintain your personal life with your work time. That is a necessary thing. Plan your day, setting a routine and predefining your things to do task for the next day is going to obviously help you. It is like, you know what things you have to do the next day, so you'll be well prepared the day before. Work efficiency is increased when you have your day planned. Your work efficiency is going to increase. You will be knowing, like, I have to do like I have to attend like 4 meetings, 5 meetings tomorrow, and you will be doing it efficiently because you will be having the things ready for a day before, or an hour before the task is like starting. Supports you in in personal development. When you plan your day, when you do start investing your time, your energy, your strength, your thought process into this work, you are going to repeat, like you will develop yourself. You'll be a completely different person if you see after like a quarter or 6 months ka time. Believe in the process. Yeah, this process is going to take time to set a routine. Like, it's a basic calculation. You might just, you can actually Google it down. To set a habit, you need 21 days. To actually implement it, or like, get used to it, you need another 21 days. And for the habit to last for a lifetime, you will need another 21 days. So that way you will be requiring 63 days, 63 to 66 days to actually start a routine, get used to it, like make it your life. So you have to believe in the process is not going to happen within a day ka time. I just mentioned that I'll be sharing you an example for the routine that I follow. I had read a book named 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. This book is really brilliant, and this is something I have modified according to my feasibility, because my working hours and things cannot match what he has specified. So let's go through it. 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning. Like 5 a.m. is my wake up, like 4:45 is my wake up time. So 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. is a morning ritual time when you have to drink water, exercise, meditate, and plan your day. You have to, for exercise is like to keep you fit. Hydration is to keep your body fit, obviously. Hydration exercises for that. Meditation is to, obviously, we have to take care of our health, mental health as well. So meditation and plan your day. Because if you get any surprises within your schedule, like, a surprise meeting or a clashes there, or a meeting is clashing or something like that, you will know that well in advance if you plan your day. And 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. is personal pursuit time, like getting ready for work, like all the things you do in the morning. 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. is travel and work. At times, I have to like travel 50 kilometers, 40 kilometers a day, or possibly going somewhere far to meet a client and stuff. So for me, like travel and work time is like that. Like then you're traveling, but there is something I preferably do is like I listen to podcast or audiobooks. That is the 60-10 and following the 60-10 protocol. So I'll give you the details over here. Like I said, you have to be a continuous learner. You have to learn something a day, if one thing a day. Then like, learning when traveling and stuff is it becomes difficult for me. So I'll listen to podcast or audiobooks, something that is going to give me knowledge about knowledge and all. And then the second one is the 60 and 10 protocol. 60-10 protocol was something like this. When you are working at home, you are not working at an office, you have reached the destination and you have like a time in hand. So what you could do is like investing 60 minutes time without your phone, without WhatsApp, without Facebook, Instagram or anything. 60 minutes you just work. Whatever task is in your hand, you have planned it or planned your day. Do the task in 60 minutes, take a 10 minutes ka break. Drink water, reply to your friends and family or your client or whatever. Invest that 10 minutes ka time in just relaxation. Then again 60 minutes sit and work without your phone near you. This is obviously going to enhance your efficiency and you will see the results within like very short span of time. Then 1 a.m. to 5 p.m. is something like do a lower value work or meeting, something that doesn't need to require much of your brain or like much of your creativity work. Because that is obviously because we have after having lunch we are very lazy. It's something that is inbuilt in all the engineers. So doing the less creative work helps in that time. And a second thing you can do is planning and administrative. When you run an organization, administrative works is your responsibility. You are supposed to be the one who will be governing all the functions in the organization. So planning and administrative can be put over there. Then you can have certain meetings with the client or whatever it is. Just do it at time. 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Traffic University. This is something a very good term I found in the book itself. It is like after work you are drained, you are mentally drained. You can just enjoy the fresh air when you are traveling back from your office to home. Like you can just enjoy the fresh air. You can listen to some music. You can obviously continue with whatever you are studying in the audiobook or the podcast earlier. You can just continue with it. You can do whatever you want. Just relax and study. That's why it is used. That's why I used the word traffic university, because in traffic you will like 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. is a traffic time, and you will be knowing like near Meher signal, or if you are at CBS you are stuck. What to do? You can just think of doing something like this that time. 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. is something you can do for personal renewal time. Obviously, this is again a zero technology zone when you are not supposed to use your phone. That time you can do the reading. You can spend time with your family members. You can take your parents, go for a walk. Just long walk, like enjoy the fresh air. Just let your body relax. You can hit a gym if you like building body and all, bodybuilding and all. You can just go to the gym. Just stay fit. Enjoy the time. Then 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. is the pre-sleep sleep ritual. Over here, this thing is even a zero technology zone. When like writing a journal, writing about your day. Writing a journal means writing a daily diary or something that you learned in the day. You can just mention it down as a note for further reference. That XYZ, like so and so thing was there that I learned today. How, like for example, you can write how a BJT works, how a transistor works, something like that. If like whatever you have learned in the day, you just write it down in the journal. So you can just meditate. You can just reflect on whatever happened today, what things were there you could do better. Just reflect, and then 9:30 just go to sleep. And you can take a screenshot and let me know if there is any changes or something like that. You can just take a screenshot of this page, the slide that I've shared for your reference, or you can just refer the book anytime. There's the 5 a.m. club. I've written the reference below. Let's move on. Technology is a useful servant but a dangerous master. Yes, this is something that our generation needs to know. We are so addicted to Instagram and Facebook that before sleeping or whatever, even when we are having a food, walking or sitting at home, we are 24/7 on our phone. And the lockdown has literally helped us in doing this daily, that we are stuck at home, we cannot go out, what to do? Spend our time on Netflix, spend our time on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. But let's use this technology for something beneficial and learn something new from it. Technology was meant to make our lives easy and not and efficient. Technology was supposed to do that, but we are misusing it. I won't say I don't do it, but finally I've been able to reduce it. It's the biggest edition of 21st century. Yeah, this century we are like highly addicted to technology. Yeah. Next, limit the use of technology during the 60-10 protocol. Like I said, 60 minutes you are not supposed to touch your phone. You just, unless and until there is some emergency and you cannot just avoid, that is the condition. Otherwise, even if your friend, your like what client or anyone is like client is messaging, you can reply. Friends and all, just don't entertain during the 60 minutes. 10 minutes, you can do whatever you want. Learn online, read ebooks, listen to audiobooks, learn a new skill. This is the best way, best style to learn something new. Like you can listen to n number of webinars on YouTube, or you can listen to the audiobooks, read ebooks, because you have to learn something new a day, then you have to start learning. So use the technology to learn. Don't be over reliant on gadgets. Like imagine you have stored something on your Google account, and with coincidence you have forgotten the password and you have lost the number as well. How do you recover it? You won't be able to get the documents back, or you won't be able to get your stuff, like important things back. So let's not be so dependent on the gadgets. Let's start something, doing something on the normal old style. Read. Yeah, this is my suggestion. You can take a screenshot of this slide as well once I'm done, because these books are something you should read when you say you want to become an entrepreneur. These are the like best books to start with. The first one is How I Braved Anu Aunty and Co-founded a million dollar company. This is the best book you'll find about a guy named Varun Agarwal, how he started the book, how he started his own company, and that is something that all alumni students actually use. Amla Connect, sorry. It was started by Varun, and this book is by him. Then second is Start with Why. You must know what the great leaders like. You know, it has a collection of how great leaders inspire everyone. Yeah. Then the next one is The Secret. Yeah, when doing something, like there are times like when you are starting something of your own, there are times when you'll be disappointed and all. That time, The Secret is the best motivational book you can read. How your thoughts are going to affect your life. It is basically about that, and this has been my favorite book since the time the book was released. The 5 a.m. Club, like I told you, to make a routine, the 5 a.m. Club is the best book. Who Moved My Cheese is another favorite of mine. One of my professors had actually suggested did this during debate session. Like actually, we had a debaters club in PVG. When I don't know if you might be familiar. Yeah, actually, till last year, Gotche sir used to teach you, right, electronics department. So he was the one who suggested me this book, and this book is really brilliant. The Alchemist. This is, you might have heard a lot about this book, and this book is worth reading. The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. This is another book suggested by a professor, and you have to know these habits. You have to know how perspective, how the paradigm shift is, how you. This book will give you a different lens, a different perspective to see the world. Rich Dad Poor Dad. When it comes to starting your business, finances is must. So Rich Dad Poor Dad is the best book to read, because we have grown up listening to a lot of wrong things, wrong concepts, wrong beliefs. But this book is going to correct it all for you. What your idea needs to allow. Let's move on to more technical stuff. Like this is how you could till now I told you how you could develop yourself to do something of your own, and now after this slide I'll be telling you what are the technical stuffs that is necessary. Your idea must have a business sense. You cannot just say that I'm going to make kites and sell something that doesn't have a sense of selling, that doesn't have a market. You must have what what you call a business senses. It should have the ability or the capability to make money. Having an idea, developing it, and you cannot make money out of it, is then it is of no use. Make a difference. Make a difference in society, make a difference in somebody's life, make a difference in the world. You are born, we are not just born to be dead. without people remembering us. So let's give everyone an opportunity or a chance to remember us. Like give something that people will remember us for. Like Edison, we know he had developed the bulb. Every day we use the electricity bulb, and everyone is actually making use of something he had developed. So let's make a difference in this world. 100% involvement, like I had said earlier, 100% your time, your physical strength, your mental capability, everything has to be involved in your idea. You have to give your, actually 100% is a very small term. You have to give your 1,000 or 1 lakh% involvement. Your business idea should have a vision that in like so and so amount of time you have to vision and mission, you have to be able to say that your business idea will do miracles in a so and so amount of time, most probably a 5 years or 2 years, 3 years, whatever. You should have a mission and a vision. Branding, now you have an idea, you have like made a prototypes of it, you have now you have given your company a name. Now branding is necessary. People should know what you do, people should know what you sell, so branding is necessary. I'll give you some ideas about how branding and stuff is done in later on. Then marketing. You should be able to sell one of my. I had heard it somewhere. Like if you are able to sell yourself, you can do miracles. You can achieve miracles. So marketing is necessary. If you can sell yourself, you can sell whatever is in your hand. That is what a CEO or a founder or has to do. Like they can, if you've come across a new person, you should be able to sell them your product, saying whatever you want. Speech is not limited. Put the pedal to the metal. Now how to start? You have an idea, you want to do something, then the first important thing is market research. You have to do market research. You have to know the market before you think about putting your product into the market. Analysis, once you do the market research, analysis is must. Like you should know who your competitors are, who has come up with what product. Like there are lot of soaps, lot of water bottles in the market. There are a lot of other products, so you should know what your competitors do, what whose product is it, how much they sell. At least you won't know the exact figure, but tentative, rough approximate figure you can obviously tell about the market. And then you have to analyze it. Competitive analysis, this is necessary. After you know your competitors, you have made a list of their product, you have made a list of whatever pricing they're selling it for, then you have to come up with an idea or difference, something that your competitors don't do. Find that USP, find that difference, find that uniqueness. That is going to be your USPs. When you know your product, possibly it is something completely new, or if something that other people are doing. If it is what something other people are doing, you have to find your USP, something that is unique in your product and other people don't do it. If it is something new, then obviously it is a unique thing, so it will have a lot of USPs. Promote your USPs. Once you know your USPs, unique selling points, USPs is unique selling point, you should be able to promote it. Tell it to everyone you meet. Every second person you meet, or every new person you meet, you have to tell them, I do it, so and so thing. For me, I went on telling everyone that I started an events company. Yeah. Adaptive nature. You have to adapt with the financial conditions. For example, if you see the present scenario, if you put on news, you will hear this news channel anchor saying, like news reporter saying that Corona has hampered every business, it has gone deteriorated and all. But you should know how to adapt to the situation. Like for example, now I used to do I've done like 1,000+ crowd events where people the crowd, the guest list was 1,000+, and now I have to directly shift down to 50 and 50 below. So that is something that I had to adapt. I had done this before, so it wasn't a big thing for me. Like you have to adapt with nature. You cannot just predict when another pandemic is going to happen, or what is going to happen, natural calamity is going to happen, or whatever. So you have to adapt with the nature. Then the most important thing is legal formalities. You have to get your organization registered. You have to get your GSTN number and everything in place before you start your organization. Like, in the starting span at least, you have to get it done. Yeah, this is shameless marketing is what we call. In the starting, when you have an idea, you know your USPs, you know you are going to be able to sell it to the market. The next thing comes in place is getting your logo. This is a part of branding, how you can brand your company. Getting your logo done, getting a slogan written for it, a website. Yeah, it is a digital world. India is becoming like digital India now. So we have to get a website in place because that is the best way to market your organization. Website is necessary. Business cards. Um, there was a time I remember when I had got my first bundle of business cards. I actually went on giving it to everyone I met. I've actually finished one complete bundle doing that within a week time. So, like everybody should know you have started something, and the best way to tell them is giving your business card because not many people are on website or on internet access. So, giving something that is more physical and visible for them to know is a business card. Give it to everyone you meet. Next one, having a profile. Now, profile is a very technical thing. Like in that, your complete company details will be there, your services, whatever you provide, your products, everything will be listed in a very decent way, in a very sophisticated way. You will find the samples on Google. You can just get the ideas or reference templates from there. And you can design your own profile. And if you need any help, like you can contact me anytime, obviously. Yeah. Then social media has become a very big hype after 2010. Like we are addicted to social media. It started with like Hotmail and all. Now we are on everywhere possible. Snapchat, it may be Snapchat, it may be Instagram, it may be Twitter. Use every possible media because being present on every social media is the best way to market your brand. Your brand is what other people say about you when you are not in the room. Yeah, this is one of the very like best way to put it down, that you people should be able to say good things about you. Even if they have seen your work once or twice, they have seen your product only once, they should be able to say something good about you. That is only when, like, that will happen after a lot of experiments, a lot of failures and stuff. But that should happen. That is the best way to brand your company. I like to take a poll over here. If you think whatever I said till now is right, just type in yes in the text message chat box, and yeah, then we can just see, take the poll right now. Like you can just say yes, and we'll get an idea about what you think about it. Yeah, I'll continue by that time. Yeah, next slide. Now I've spoken about all the good things about an enterprise, how to start, what your ideas require, how you can convert an idea into reality. I'll talk about what all roadblocks, like blocks, what I call, will be coming your way. Finding a right audience. That is the biggest point you have to know when you do your market research. You have to know who your audience are. For example, I give you a Nityam ka example. I cannot sell my weddings section to underage kids. I cannot go and sell the corporate events to college students or school students. So you must know what product is meant for what audience. Like I have a very diversified product list and very diversified audience. Like there are some products which I cannot sell it to the kids. There are some products which I cannot sell to the adults, like corporate people. So you have to know the correct audience. I have seen people suffer because of that. They had come up with brilliant ideas. Some family members itself, they had come up with really brilliant ideas. Their product, their app was really good, but unfortunately, it wasn't meant for the crowd that we live in. That is, it wasn't meant for this crowd that he tried to target. and it eventually failed. So you have to know your right audience that is going to remove very big speed breaker in your path. Communication. You should be able to connect with your customers. This is a very important thing. Like knowing once you know your audience, you know who your potential customers are. You should be able to communicate. You should be able to tell them your ideas. In short, you should be able to sell them your ideas. So you have to be very good in your letting your thought process be understood with by the other person, that is your client. Human resource management. This is another very important thing because you'll be having a team under you. You'll be working with a lot of people. You should be able, or at least you should have someone who will be able to handle the human resource. If you know you are not so good with it, hire someone. Or at least ask someone, in starting level, you can ask some of your cousins or your relative or your friend, someone to help you out with this. Finance management is the most important thing to know. Some most important skill you will possess when you start something of your own. Because if you are not able to handle your pocket money, and you by the end, by 15, you tell your parents, mama papa, I finished my pocket money within the 10 or 15 days of the month, then you surely cannot start your own organization. You should be able to manage your finances well. Managing your finance, this is something that I had seen in a video online, and I really believe in this concept that is called as the mountain test. Imagine you are going for a trekking, you are trying to climb Tambarlini, which is very close to our college, and you are supposed to go near the temple up there. Then climbing from the base step, not from the temple area or from the parking zone, you are directly going walking from the right deep bottom of the hill, and you're climbing on the climbing up. You're going up. You're going up. You're going up. There will be there a time will become come when you realize the luggage you are having is not, it won't take you up there. You start dropping one thing, then the second thing, then the third thing from your bag. So how it is going to be useful? If you can carry a certain thing till the tip of the mountain, then it is worth spending your money on. It is worth spending your finances on. Yeah, I assume like everybody has been to Zambalini because you can actually see it from the top floor of the college. That is the ENTC department classroom, and yeah, that's why I remember it well. That is what we call the mountain test. You should be able to spend your money on things that you can take on the mountain tip, things that is only necessary, the most important thing, the necessary things. Because if you have like a saving of 1 lakh or 2 lakhs, whatever, you have some amount of savings with you. You have to invest that in your business idea, but you have your personal demands as well. So you should know where it is necessary, where it is important. Jumpstart is 0.1%. Actually, it should be less than 0.1%, but I'll still say it is 0.1%. Because Jumpstart is getting profit the day you start your business. That is what Jumpstart is all about. So, are Jumpstarts actually real? I did not experience it. Yeah. Only few people are lucky enough to get a jump start, to get a break. You have to have something really unique about your idea, or your product should be able to solve a very big problem, or it has to have something. You have to be lucky. You have to be lucky. And for actually, I don't believe in luck. So for me, jump start doesn't happen. Expectations. We have a lot of expectations when we start an idea. We have an idea, we have implemented it, and now we expect to make money. Like in month we'll be earning, we'll be making profit. In a week we'll be making profit. Whatever. These expectations are huge, but it is going to take a test of time for us to know how good your product is, how good your idea is, and whether we have been able to target the right audience or not. It is going to take time. Consistency and perseverance is the key. Like you have to be consistent. Even if you don't get the idea successful in the first attempt, be consistent. Try selling it, try improving, try modifying. Do whatever is possible with by you to make the idea be to sell the idea actually. And yeah, like I said, I believe we create our luck. We are just not lucky with birth, by birth. Failure is not the dead end. Like we know, this is a sine wave. It has a positive peak, it has a negative peak. Same it is with the organization. You will win or learn. It is either you make profit or you learn from your mistake. It is like a sine wave. It is going to go up, it is going to go down. If it is hitting the rock bottom of it, it is going to come up. Only when you learn from your mistakes. You will succeed not immediately, but definitely. Give it time, you will be successful. If your idea is really brilliant, you are supposed to succeed, but it is going to take time. It's not a dead end, it's a place to dead end is not a place to stop, it is a place to learn and move forward. Like I said, when we hit the rock bottom, we are supposed to go up. It is like when we hit down, we have done some mistakes, so we have to learn from it. We have to modify it. We have to be able to make the necessary changes and move forward. Success and failures will come like in the sinusoidal form. It's the winning peak and it's the learning peak, what I say. What matters most is how you bounce back in the race to reach success. It is like it is on your capability, on your dedication to bounce back. You have to say like no, you have to be very stubborn. No, I did a mistake, I'm going to learn from it, I'm going to bounce back, I am going to be successful. That is what matters. Yeah, avoid unwanted in a book. Like this line you'll understand when you read the first book that I mentioned, How I Braved Unwanted. We have a lot of people in our life who will be telling us a lot of things. Like when we come up with the idea, I will suggest don't tell your parents right away. Experiment, give it a shot, like take your own time, and when you actually think like your idea is ready to be shared with people who will demotivate you, it might be your parents, it might be your family members, it might be some CEO uncle aunties of yours, or it might be some of your friends. I did not tell about my idea to lot of people. Even I told my parents when I had my business card in my hand. That is the time when I told my parents about starting Nitya Vivek. So avoid unwanted in your life, because these people are just going to demotivate you. They won't even let you give it one shot or give it one try. They are going to be like nahi beta aisa nahi hota hai, aisa mat karo. They are just going to say no. So avoid sharing your ideas with certain people who you know is going to demotivate you, but do share it with people and take feedback from the ones who is going to encourage you, who you know they are going to be, they are your rock pillars, they are going to be there with you no matter what. Share it with them. Share who is going to motivate you, who is going to come up with a lot of solutions and suggestions when it is necessary, and not demotivational or demotivating suggestions. I like to end a session with a quote by Albert Einstein: a person who never made a mistake never tried anything new. Like I said, we have a lot of unwanted in our life. So if we let them rule our life, we won't do anything. We won't try to do anything, and obviously we won't make mistakes because we haven't tried. We haven't given it a shot either. So person who has never tried anything has never learned anything new. So to learn something new, mistakes, failures, disappointments is going to be a part of it. But what matters most is how we come back, how we bounce back, how we prove it to be wrong, that we are going to be successful. If not today, someday. That is the sort of dedication we should have. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can find me at the link below. You can take a screenshot of this screen, or you can note it down. I am ready to help any queries from your end. And if somebody wants to get into events section, then we are ready to hire some interns. So you can just email us your CV at the below given link. That is my Gmail account. Thank you.
Thank you, Nidhi. This is Ravindra.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hi. It's you share a lot of things. And
Yes, sir.
considering this pandemic situation and your contents to motivating all the students, and definitely this going to be helpful for the students, right? And our
Yes,
prime
sir.
minister
I hope
and
it is helpful for you, for
yeah,
the students.
definitely, definitely. Each and every point is definitely going to help our students. And one thing I would like to share. This is
Hmm.
we conducted almost 14 webinars. We never
Okay.
crossed 100. This is first time we crossed almost 130 participants.
Wow, sir. That's a big score for me even.
Yeah, and really, we and also our team on behalf of PVG College of Engineering also we really thank you. And this your contents and things which definitely motivates our students, right? I request all
Thank you.
participants if any doubts or if you have any questions, you can have a like 5 minutes interaction session, and then later on we'll proceed the wind up. Right? Yeah, please, students,
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead.
Sure, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have any queries, you can just ask me.
Yeah, no one is there. I request Prachi, Amrita, even Nidhi,
Yes,
like
sir.
your batch, we have good students, and they have really good potential with them. Uh,
Sure, sir. Like you
yeah,
can just contact. They have if they have taken a screenshot, they can just contact me anytime, or else share my contact details with you and Prachi. They can
okay.
just share it, circulate it with the students.
Yeah, sure, sure, sure. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, Prachi.
Yeah, you have a question in the chat box. Can you please go through it?
Yeah, sure. 1 minute. I'll just go through it. Okay. What is the legal paperwork required for doing freelancing service? See, for doing freelancing services, you don't have particularly paperwork as such, but if you are crossing a specific income limit, then you need a GSTN number. Yeah, because if you are registering yourself on freelancer.com, for example, I'm giving you a suggestion. We're registering yourself on freelancer.com and all, then you'll need a GSTN number. They're going to ask you because the payment method is PayPal or banking, your normal what do you say, state banks and all. So for PayPal, you need a GSTN number. So that is something you'll be requiring, and for to get that, there is a GSTN number. There is a lot of paperwork in the background. Yeah. Anything else? Anybody has any other query or question to ask?
I guess there are no more questions.
Okay.
Can you please share your email ID in the chat box so that students can see
Yeah,
it?
sure. Yeah, I will. You can use the two email IDs that I have shared. Like, if anybody has queries or anything, they can just get back to me on this email IDs. Or if they want to like know anything, like any clarification, they want any details, they can contact me here.
Yeah. So can we wind up the session?
Okay.
Okay. There's an announcement to the participants. I'd like to request all the participants to keep their cameras on for just 10 seconds so that we can take the screenshot for the report purpose. Kedar, are you done with it?
Can you hold on for a minute?
Okay.
Okay. Done.
Okay. Thank you, Kedar. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really a very good session, and I'm sure
Yeah,
everyone
welcome.
had learned something from you. I'd like to call Sakshi for the vote of thanks, and then we'll wrap up the session.
Yes, Prachi. Yes. On the behalf of Training and Placement Cell of PVGS College of Engineering and all the students, I would like to thank our today's honorable expert, Miss Nidhi Parsekar ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking the time out from your schedule and sharing the valuable information and knowledge with us. Next up, I would like to thank Professor R.K. Patil sir, TPO of PVGS College of Engineering, for initiating the webinar series and organizing the sum along with all the team members, which is very beneficial for all of us. And last but not the least, I would like to thank all the candidates for joining with us and attending the session patiently. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Nidhi. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.